Today I'm doing the ultimate book tag. Let's do this. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. This tag was created by Tiernan at the Booktuber. I will link him in the description below. Go check him out. I wasn't actually tagged by anyone today to do this, but what can you do? I'm going to do it anyway. Here we go. Question number 1. Do you get sick while reading in the car? And yes, I do. It sucks, doesn't it? I hate it so much. I never used to when I was a kid. I always read in the car and I was absolutely fine, but now I'm an adult and apparently I now get car sick, which sucks. Question number 2, which author's writing style is completely unique to you and why? And I'm going to say Toni Morrison's because it's very difficult to read. Now I studied this in A-level in school and it took me 2 goes to even understand the first chapter. It was just really completely out there. However, once I kind of understood it and got into the rhythm of it, I loved it, and it's so beautiful. It's just really rhythmic and lyrical, and there's a nice kind of pace to it, and honestly it is really overwhelming when you first open the first book of hers you've ever read, and it's just like whoa. But this, I love her writing style now, and I would really recommend reading her books, especially this one, because it's amazing. Question number 3, Harry Potter series or the Twilight Saga? I don't really think you need to be either or, but for me obviously it's going to be this one because it's here, prime of place on my bookshelf, and the Twilight Saga went to the charity shop last month, so that tells you something, doesn't it? Question number 5, do you smell your books? I mean, I don't really like purposefully stick my nose into a book and, you know, consume its pungent perfume or anything like that. Do people do that? It's just, yeah, okay, moving on. Question number 6, books with or without little illustrations. I'm torn about this because I made a video back in December about illustrations in books, and I do kind of like them because I think they just add something to a book. I think it's just exciting when you turn a page and there's a picture there, but I don't think it's needed. I mean, I wouldn't say that my reading experience of reading any of the books that don't have pictures in was lessened by the fact that there weren't any illustrations in it. But equally, there are books that I have absolutely adored that have had tons of illustrations in, so I'm an either or. Yeah, cool either way. Question number 7, what book did you love while reading but discovered later it wasn't quality writing? Don't hate me, anyone, for saying this, but I love Harry Potter, I really do, but let's be honest, the books are as good as they are because the story is good. Without that good story, I don't think the writing is amazing. It's part of the reason why I haven't wanted to read Casual Vacancy or any of the other series of books J.K. Rowling has done, for the simple reason that I just didn't like the sound of those stories, and I don't like her writing style enough to want to read them, therefore. So don't hate me, but probably the Harry Potter series. Question number 8 is, do you have any funny stories from your childhood involving books? And don't think I do, so I'm just going to skip that question because I can't remember if I do. Question number 9, what is the thinnest book on your bookshelf? And by a mile it is Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, because look at them, they're freaking tiny. However, if I had plays on this bookshelf, which I don't because I've got a gazillion plays and they would take up the whole bookshelf, it would be Patient A by Lee Blessing, which is so thin, like, it's just tiny. Question 10, what is the thickest book on your bookshelf? And this is a bit of a controversial one because I was going to say Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, but seeing as that is a hardback and this one is a paperback and yet it is pretty much the same width, I'm going to say Les Mis by Dr. Hugo? By Victor Hugo. I mean, look at it. They call it the brick for a reason. Question number 11. Do you write as well as read? Do you see yourself as an author in the future? I would love to be able to be an author. I like writing. I always wrote when I was in high school and I do really enjoy it, but I'm going to be honest, I'm a terrible writer. I love doing it, but I do it for my own enjoyment, and nothing I ever write is any good, and I'm not just being modest, it just isn't, honestly. So yeah. Question number 12, when did you get into reading? I have been reading for as long as I can remember. My mum used to read to me before I went to bed every night, and then we started reading poetry, and before I even went to primary school I could read, you know, proper full-length books. So yeah, I honestly don't have like a particular time when I got into reading. It was when I was, you know, a tiny little person, even tinier than I am now, and I'm tiny now. Question 13, what is your favourite classic book? And I am going to say Pride and Prejudice, for the simple reason that I love this book. I go on about it a lot, don't I? I do love this book, even though this cover is ugly as... Question 14, in school, was your favourite subject language, arts or English? English, probably. I didn't enjoy English literature in school because it was so mind-numbingly boring. I hate it when you take a book and just completely analyse it to death. I just despise that half of English literature. I love reading books and I love discussing books, but when you're reading a book line by line and dissecting it like you do in school, I hated that. But I definitely was at least half good at it, as opposed to art, which I'm terrible at, and language, which, yeah, I'm not good at languages, so English, definitely. Question number 15, if you were given a book as a present and had read it before and hated it, what would you do? I'm English, I would obviously just smile and pretend that I was absolutely thrilled with this present, even though inside that I was crying, because that's what we do in this country. Yeah, moving on. Question number 16, what is a lesser known series that is similar to Harry Potter or the Hunger Games? Do you want me to mention it? Number 17, what is a bad habit you always do while filming besides rambling? Do you know what it is actually? I always position my camera slightly too low, because if I put it any higher then you just see like half of a freaking shelf and it really annoys me. So I have to position it so that the frame puts this shelf and this shelf in it, and in order to do that I have to sort of shrink a bit, and so I always lock my knees, and by the end of filming I can't walk every time. I'm doing it right now and I know I'm going to hate myself in 20 minutes. Question 18, what is your favourite word? And I'm always trying to think of this because everyone always seems to have like a particular favourite word that they instantly can say, and I'm really bad at this, but recently I was actually thinking about this for no apparent reason and I decided that myriad is my favourite word. I just like the way it rolls off the tongue. It's very lyrical and I like it. Myriad. Question number 19, are you a nerd, dork or dweeb, or all of the above? I am a nerd because for the simple reason that we don't really use the terms dork or dweeb in this country, so yeah, I'm a nerd. Question 20, vampires or fairies and why? Vampires all the way, but not the modern day I want to sleep with you vampires, the I want to drink your blood and kill you scary vampires. 21, shapeshifters or angels and why? I don't really come across shapeshifters that often, so I'm going to say angels, even though I don't read that many angels either, but there we go. The angels in Supernatural used to be alright before this show went a bit downhill, but yeah. 22, spirits or werewolves and why? Spirits from the Bone season. I don't get the werewolf thing, never will. They're all hairy and I don't like hairy men. 23, zombies or vampires? Vampires again, I guess, but again the traditional vampires, because I'm bored of zombies. Like, they've done the zombie genre to death over the past decade and I'm just fed up with them, so vampires. 24, love triangle or forbidden love? Oh my god, this is like the worst question. I don't have a clue. I hate both of them. None of them. Ugh. I sound like someone who just despises love. I don't. I'm a very happy, nice person, I promise. And finally, question number 25, full-on love story or action-packed with a little love thrown in for good measure? Oh, begrudgingly the latter. I don't really like any love stories in action just because I think it dilutes characters a lot of the time and I don't think they're that well written very often. Not always, but I don't think they were that well written very often. So yeah, begrudgingly that, but I would like an action story without any love. I just want it to be action. Yeah. Finally, I finished, yay. Oh, my voice is going. Before my voice goes, I'm going to tag Sarah at Crawford Reads and Natasha at NatWhatWhat. I will link them both in the description, both below. Go check them out. But that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow for a Top 5 Wednesday, but until then, bye!